I came across an article that I thought was interesting. The writer of the article suggests that our Western culture is quickly returning to its pagan Roman roots. Here's what he writes. Western civilization may be swiftly defaulting to functional paganism. And by default paganism, I do not mean we shall see the gods and goddesses again dressed out in temples hungry for sacrifice. No, what I mean by default paganism are habits of thought and living that commonly govern life for ordinary Romans, the people. So think about it. What are the habits of thought and living that govern your life? The author of this article suggests that those habits of thought and living that were common to ancient Romans of the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd centuries, were the kind of behaviors that included things like abortion, common divorce, and by that I mean just, I don't want to be married any longer to you, so let's get divorced. I'm divorcing you. I'm not talking about the problems and difficulties that create situations where people can no longer be together. And also homosexuality. And again, not, the tendency to be homosexual, but the behavior, the acting out. Those behaviors were pretty much eradicated by the onset of Christianity. Not that their abhorrence was unique to early Christians. No, there were other groups that abhorred them equally. For Christians, that thought was passed on to them from Jewish thought and belief. The Jews found those behaviors to be equally abhorrent. The difference was that the Jews were pretty much a closed community, and it seems their attitude was that, well, if that's what you want to do, have at it, but that's not what we're about. Christians, on the other hand, made a very public stand against these behaviors. Why? And why have these behaviors become acceptable again in our time? I think it's because of the way most individuals react and respond when they're commanded to do something. And stop and think about it. When you're told what you have to do, you must do this, how do you respond? And most people respond by saying, who are you to tell me what to do? Who are you to tell me what to do? Maybe a fair response, but troubling for sure. I mean, think about the way most people who otherwise might consider themselves to be good Catholics, respond to some of the things that the church teaches. Things like marriage and sexuality, things like, well, in our parish currently, one of the issues that comes up and has been coming up over and over again is who can be baptismal sponsors, and why should that person have to be able to go to church? Why does that person need, who's going to be a sponsor for baptism, why does that person need to go to church? Mass attendance, why do I have to do that? And of course, when it comes to this is what the church teaches, it turns people off because who are you to tell me what to do? If Jesus is Lord, and he is, then shouldn't we hear his word and listen to him and accept what he has to say, take him at his word? Here's what he says in today's gospel. If you keep my commandments, you will remain in my love. And then he goes on to say, and your joy will be complete. Do you have complete joy in your life? Huh? Do you have complete joy? Probably not. At least you probably don't think you do. This is my commandment, he says. Love one another as I have loved you. Well, maybe think about it this way. What would you do for that one person in your life that you love? There is someone in your life, certainly, there must be, that you can say, I love you. Someone that you love. How far will you go for that person? What depth will you go to show your love for that person? You see, and that was the thing about those early Christians, the thing that pagan Rome could not ignore. Christians loved no matter what. And they saw in those pagan behaviors something that was very contrary to God's loving plan for humanity. They recognized that love was not merely a feeling, feelings that can change even one moment to the next. No, those Christians saw that love was a choice, an act of the will, something that they had to do for the other person. And they also saw that this love was something that was inexplicably connected to Jesus' mission. He went to the cross to show the depth of his love. And of course, when you show the depth of your love, what happens? Well, isn't your life better? Isn't your life better when you love another person? Something about your life is, certainly, even if you can't put it into words. And no matter what the difficulties, the trials, the sufferings that you might have to endure in life, when you love, your life is better. Because here's the thing about love. Love gives. It never takes. Again, if Jesus is Lord, and he is, then we must follow his command to love. And this includes standing against the tide of paganism as it's growing and becoming acceptable in our culture, because love gives. And because of what love has given to us. This weekend, 32 of our young parishioners received, they didn't take, they received, they were given their first Holy Communion. The Eucharist. These young children received this great gift of love from God for the first time in their life. This is our experience of God's love, who has given us his Son, Jesus. And it's a gift that is not private. It's not just for me and you. It's to be shared with everyone, because love must be shared. Who will you share this gift with? Who will you invite to join you in this great gift of love? I invite you, if you've stopped coming to church, to come back and to receive this gift. If you need to talk to a priest, come and see me. Come and see a priest who you know and can trust and feel comfortable with, to talk about what you must do so that you can receive communion again. If you're not Catholic and you'd like to be instructed in the life of the church, go to your local church, go to your parish, come see me. These things are not difficult, and I can help make this happen for you. I notice that many people leave Mass even before the distribution of communion begins. Why? Why? Whatever that reason is, let me or another priest help you so that you can receive communion. What a great gift of love that God has given to us. And if that gift of love could thwart the tides of paganism 1,800 years ago, imagine what it can do today.